If you're over 50 and you feel like your muscle mass or your strength is disappearing every single year, well, guess what? It is. It's called sarcopenia. And right now, I'm gonna show you the 2 best movements to fight sarcopenia. Hey there, my name's Coach Tyler from WeShape, where we help people learn to do movements that help them feel better in their bodies. And right now, we're gonna talk about sarcopenia. If you've never heard of this word before, once you turn 40 years old, your muscle starts to disappear unless you start to work on maintaining and building that muscle mass. Now, this is really important because when you have muscle mass, you have a higher metabolism, you can move your body easier through your daily life, and you'll be stronger to support yourself as you age. This is really, really important to fight sarcopenia. But most people don't know what to do. So I'm gonna show you 2 different movements today that are gonna help you fight sarcopenia from the comfort of your own home. And since I don't know what kind of age you are or what experience you have with workouts, I'm gonna show you 3 different variations of each one of these movements so that there will be an appropriate variation for you. So just follow along, figure out which variations feel appropriate to you, and make sure to do these 3 days a week to start fighting that sarcopenia. Let's dive in. Push-ups are an amazing movement for overall upper body strength and core strength. However, a lot of people can't do push-ups. So the first variation of the push-up that I want to teach you is called the high chair push-up. And again, it's great for building overall muscle in the upper body, core strength, and just really, really improving your overall upper body strength. So with the high chair push-up, what you need is either a chair or a dresser, something really sturdy, a countertop that's just underneath your waist height. Don't worry so much about the height, worry about doing it with perfect form. The big thing though is you wanna make sure it's sturdy. I don't want anybody pushing against that chair and dumping the chair forward, okay? So make sure it's nice and sturdy. From there, you wanna grab the back of it, whatever you're grabbing onto, squeeze it with your hands. When you do that, it's gonna help stabilize the wrists, it's gonna help strengthen the wrists and remove any wrist pain that you might have. Then come into a plank position right here, and the big thing I want to point out is don't stick your butt out like this. Instead, squeeze your glutes and tuck your pelvis like this. That's going to put your spine in a really good position, and it's going to focus more on your core rather than putting your lower back at risk. Now, as you come down in the push-up, don't flare your elbows up like this. Bring them back towards your ribs like this, and that's going to protect your shoulders. So again, squeeze the glutes, towel to the top of the head, squeeze with your hands. Now drop those elbows towards your ribs. Come down, touch your chest, and come back up, slow and controlled. Inhaling as you go down, exhaling as you go up, really trying to stay tight in the core and the glutes throughout this movement to protect the spine and strengthen the core. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you go up. So practice that movement and see how it feels. If it feels good to you and you can do that movement for, let's call it a minute with perfect form, then you can go on to the next variation that I'll show you here. The next variation of the push-up that I want to show you is called the low chair push-up. So once you can do high chair push-ups and they feel really comfortable, all you have to do is turn the chair around or find a different sturdy surface that's just below knee height this time. Same thing, you're going to grab the surface with your fingertips. If your wrists are tight, you can always turn your fingers to the outside and squeeze like this. When you turn your hands to the outside, you'll see my wrist can stay more neutral instead of having to be pulled back into this position. So it doesn't require as much flexibility. From there, you're gonna come into that plank position again. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the pelvis, squeeze the core. Drop the elbows towards the ribs again. Bring your chest all the way down if you can, and back up slow and controlled. Again, inhaling as you go down, exhaling as you go up, focusing on form first, and don't lose that core tension and that glute tension. I don't want anybody sticking their butts out like this and putting pressure on their lower back. Now, if you can do low chair push-ups with perfect form and hold them for a minute, then you can go on to the next variation. Hey, real quick, before we get to the next variation of the push-up, I wanted to share with you that if you liked these movements, then you'll love the movements that we use in our workouts over at WeShape.com. And guess what? You can try a follow-along personalized workout for free. All you have to do is click the link below, take our free quiz, and we'll give you a free personalized workout where every movement is tailored to you based on your goals and your capabilities. It's the best way to work out because you're doing things that are appropriate for you. So give that a shot, and I promise you'll love it. The final variation I'm gonna teach you is just the plain old push-up. So same thing, you're gonna bring your hands down to the ground. If you can squeeze the ground with your fingertips really tight, like you're trying to tear the ground up. Again, that's gonna stabilize your wrists. From there, come into a plank position, Squeeze your glutes, so no butt sticking out. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze your core. And again, drop your elbows towards your ribs as you come down and up. Inhaling as you come down, trying to touch your chest to the ground. Exhaling as you come up. And just repeating, really focusing on form over intensity and speed so that you can build the strength and the muscle to create a stronger upper body and a stronger core all at the same time. All right, before we get to the next movement to help you fight sarcopenia, I wanted to mention that if you enjoyed the content of this video, then you're gonna love the other videos we post over on our channel. So just click that subscribe button and then hit that little bell icon, because when you do, you'll get a notification just like this every time we post a new video. Squats are one of the best movements for your lower body. However, once you get a little bit older, it gets harder and harder to do squats without feeling a lot of pain in your knees, your ankles, your hips, or maybe even your lower back. So I'm gonna show you 3 variations of the sit to stand. They're gonna help you work your way into being able to do these squats pain-free so you can build that leg muscle that's gonna support your sarcopenia. So to start out for this first variation, you're gonna need a nice sturdy chair behind you. You're gonna start in a seated position. You're gonna bring your toes slightly wider than hip width and turn your toes slightly outward. Now, something really important right here is as you look down at your thigh, you should make sure that your thigh is going the same direction as your toes. Don't let your knee wobble in like this because it'll put pressure on the inside and the outside of your knee and cause knee pain. So once that's in place, your feet are flat, toes slightly turned outward, you're gonna put your hands on your knees, drive your weight into your heels, not your toes, bow forward from the hips like this. Don't let your back round like this as you do it. Just bow forward and then press into your hands and into your heels as you stand up, okay? Now you're gonna inhale as you come down, using your hands on your knees, putting the weight in your heels as you come down for support. Exhale as you stand up. Again, inhaling down, making sure those knees are going the same direction as the toes. Exhaling, pushing in these as you stand up. Now, if this movement feels nice and easy for you, and you can do it with perfect form, then let's go on to the next variation of the sit to stand. This next variation is called the sit to stand. We're gonna start in a standing position with a nice sturdy chair behind us, again with our toes slightly turned outward and our feet slightly wider than hip width. Now, as you go down this time, I want you to bring your arms up in front of you as a counterbalance, and again, try to make sure the weight's in your heels and that your knee is going the same direction as your toes, they're not wobbling in like this, and that you're not rounding your back like this as you come down, okay? So, inhale, weight in the heels, arms out front, knees same direction as toes, nice tall spine. Once you land on the chair behind you, you can rock back for a second, and then drive into the heels and stand up again. So, real slow controlled movement on the way down, nice and squeezed movement on the way up, all the way to the top position. Inhaling as you go down, exhaling as you go up. Again, focusing on weight on the heels, knees going the same direction as toes, and a nice tall spine from your tailbone through the top of your head. Now, if this still feels easy for you and it doesn't hurt any of your joints, then let's go add one more thing to this to make it a little bit more challenging. Okay, this last variation of the sit to stand is gonna challenge your muscles and your heart a lot more than the previous 2 variations. But don't practice this variation until you're able to do sit to stands without your arms for support for at least a minute with perfect form and without having any aches and pains in your ankles, your knees, your hips, or your lower back. Once you're able to do them for a full minute and it doesn't hurt, then you can try this variation. So start again with your feet right outside of hip width, toes slightly turned outward. Really make sure your knees are going the same direction as your toes as you do this variation of the movement. You're gonna inhale, and as you go down, drive into the heels, right? Once your butt touches there, I want you to think about exploding up and hopping at the top like this. Just a little hop, okay? So when I string it together, it's gonna look a little bit faster like this. Inhale down. Now you get all the muscles of your feet, your calves, your shins, and your legs and glutes working all at the same time. And again, if you do these for 30 seconds to a minute, your heart rate is going to go through the roof at the same time. So practice these, make sure you get them with perfect form, and once you do, they're gonna be an amazing lower body movement to help you fight sarcopenia. All right, now that you know the 2 best movements to fight sarcopenia, and you've seen the 3 variations of the sit to stands and the 3 variations of the push-ups, all you have to do to put that all together is pick 1 variation of the sit to stand, 1 variation of the push-up, and you can do 30 seconds of work followed by 15 seconds of rest for 3 rounds, going back and forth between sit to stand, push-up, sit to stand, push-up, sit to stand, push-up. When you do this, you'll have an amazing workout that takes less than 10 minutes that's going to help you fight sarcopenia. Now, if you like this video, I've got another video you might be interested in. It's called How to Go Up and Down Stairs Without Pain, and it's available right here. If you have pain while walking up and down the stairs, go check that out right now, and I promise you won't regret it.